happy birthday, everybody. How are you doing? It's good to see everybody here. And thank you so much for being here. Hello, Blake. Thank you so much. Hello, Tyler. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. This is my first time successfully streaming horizontally on the YouTube app itself. Usually I'm on Prism, but tonight is a special night. So here we go. Some live happy birthday art requests. And to start, does anybody have anything or any characters that you ever dreamed of drawing, or that you would actually love to see somebody draw? Or if you're unable to get AI to generate you these characters, let us know, and we're gonna start drawing. Hello, thank you so much, Buzz, for the birthday wishes. Woo! Thank you so much. Hello, Tyler. Good to see you. What's up, and how you doing, Blake? So while we wait for some people to come on in. We got ourselves some chocolate vanilla cupcakes. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the matches or the candle lighters, and I also couldn't find the band-aids. So what? And right here, we got ourselves a very lucky Tower of Terror ornament. I actually got it in April during my April visit. So here it is. The Hollywood Tower Hotel wishes us a bunch of birthday luck and good luck to everybody tonight. Unfortunately, some of the toads broke off, so and this one too broken. And here's a little teeny tiny finger puppet party hat. Hello, I'm the party hat. Hello, everybody, I'm party hat. Alright, Goody's asking, what kind of characters can you request to draw? I can go draw whatever character you want. You know how you can request Neil and Grayson to play your favorite songs on the piano in the Magic Kingdom? You can do the exact same thing. But instead of music, I draw characters. You can request me to draw Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck, Pluto, Goofy, the whole shebang. And hello, CJ. Good to see you. What's up and how you doing? Tyler's asking, I was thinking about you last night and started some ideas for the Hollywood Tower Hotel art. I'd love to see your art style. So I'd love to see how you draw Hollywood Tower Hotel art. Here we go. We're going to start this party off with an absolute classic. Matter of fact, this was Walt Disney's second character after Oswald. After Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, in quotation marks, got stolen by a Universal producer at the time, back in the 1920s. Do you know that this character's name used to be called Motor Mouse, but Walt's wife was like, pick something with a little more bounce to it, and that is how the name Mickey Mouse came to fruition. Thank you so much, T-Time for the birthday wish. Woo! Thank you so much. I would love to see your ideas for Tower of Terror art, Tyler, and I'm curious, what got you into doing Tower of Terror art? Also, Buzz, I'm curious, where is your Instagram again? I unfortunately couldn't find your Instagram, so I gotta add you to the moderator chat. Yeah, I've been trying to find your Instagram for quite some time. Unfortunately, I've had no luck finding it. Thank you so much. If anybody has any characters that they would love for me to draw, please let me know in the chat, and we can start doing that. So here's Mickey Mouse in his birthday tuxedo. Did you know that Mickey Mouse has over 100 outfits? And you know what's really wild? Is based off all the cast member characters and all the cast member uniforms. Do you know that it would take 90 years for somebody to single-handedly wash and dry all the laundry that the Walt Disney Company produces in a single day? Yes, Tita Mary Ellen is asking, can you draw Luminaria? I don't know who Luminaria is, but we shall find out. I do know of Luminescence, and Luna Moths, but I don't know what the Luminaria is. We shall find out. Luminaria. Oh, Luminaria is Beauty and the Beast, Mr. Candlewick. I'm not sure why, but I thought Mr. Luminaria was named Candlewick. Oh, Beauty and the Beast. A tale as old as time, allegedly. And Goody's asking, can you draw Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy? Absolutely. And I'll take that. Rocket from Mission Breakout. Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Hello, Ghost Rider. It's so good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? And what I really love about Disney characters is just how many S shapes each of the characters consist of. And it actually makes the really predictable art style makes it way easier for the animators to actually draw the characters like over like 1,000 times. Do you know that there was like over 10,000 single cell animated frames that make up Snow White that make up Sleeping Beauty? And also do you know that Snow White was such a difficult character to draw that sometimes took an animator an entire day to draw full frames of Sleeping Beauty. Hello, Chaz. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. And Buzz is asking, how's your birthday doing? Well, it's just getting started. And tomorrow, I do have somebody who's treating me to another surprise. Not sure what it is, but I'm definitely hyped to find out. And they did say yes to being able to share it with all of you once I find out. Be our guest. Confetti is getting everywhere. And I do appreciate all your patience. Since I'm still practicing the art of drawing horizontally, not portrait. And Ghost Rider says, I'm sick. I'm so sorry to hear, Ghost. It sucks to be sick, especially in the winter. So coming up after Mr. Candlestick, we're gonna be drawing Rocket from Beauty and the Beast. Oops, I meant Mission Breakout. I do wish that they would actually make a collector's fortress. I do wish that they would make the collector's fortress into a museum, just like how Disney sometimes teases making the Hollywood Tower Hotel into an actual hotel via spin-off result. So here you go, you get Mr. Candlestick. And coming up, Rocket Raccoon. Has anybody actually seen the Mission Breakout cartoon series? And do you know that in the Mission Breakout cartoon series, they actually use at least 20 different animation styles, which blows me away. And thank you so much, Mary Ellen. Rocket. I'm not sure already, but when I think of Rocket, I think of Snoopy. Another thing I find really wild is that the Mission Breakout inspired Tower of Terror attraction is the only Tower of Terror attraction with a full-blown animatronic. Thank you so much, Chaz. I do have a great time drawing traditional Disney characters. And also, Ghost, I wish that you felt better too. There's been times where I get so sick that I can barely move and I'm like bleh. And I can barely talk some days. So here you go. Lucky Rocket Raccoon. Whoop. Let me get a hole-in-one. I'm not sure why, but something about Rocket reminds me of seeing the Hollywood Tower Hotel from the Fantasy Golf Suites off the side of like the Cordilleran Springs Hotel. I'm not a dog. I'm a raccoon. Why do you keep calling me a dog? I'm no dog. I'm a raccoon. And you know what was really wild? Is this how mad Rocket got when Mantis first called him a dog? Like saying, oh, what a cute dog you got. And Rocket was like, no, I'm not a dog. Okay, Trash Panda. I'm not Trash Panda. I'm a raccoon. So there you go, Goody. Here is a Trash Panda raccoon. Rocket Raccoon. And do you know in the Mission Breakout queue that there's actually gobbled up sound bits from the original Tower of Terror attraction? The reason being is that the collector who runs the Collector's Fortress actually collects audio clips from the planet Earth and other planets within the solar system. That is why you can hear That is why you can hear the Tower of Terror, some of the Tower of Terror audio, especially the hallway scene, and right narration within the Guardians of the Galaxy queue. So how's everybody's Sundays going? So here you go. Whoop, Rocket Raccoon. So now while we wait for some more requests, we're gonna keep on drawing some Guardians of the Galaxy characters. Has everybody seen the Fallen sequel of Guardians of the Galaxies? I've only seen the first two Guardians and seen Mission Breakout plus Monsters After Dark. I'm Groot. I'm Groot. No, I'm Groot. I'm Groot. Groot, watch your mouth. I'm Groot. Groot. Gutty says, I never knew that, Tony. Thank you for drawing rockets from Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you so much. I do have a great time drawing Guardians characters. It is secretively one of my favorite Marvel franchise movies. Not sure what it is, but I love the visual. Slapstick humor that reminds me of Charlie Chaplin. I'm glad to hear, Chaz Cat, that your Sunday's been great. And thank you so much. I do enjoy doing some stuff. I do enjoy doing stuff for a good time. And I just love doing artwork with everybody too. I'm curious, everybody, but do you want to play a game where I start drawing a character and you have to guess the character? Put a one in the chat if it's like yes. Put two in the chat if you have any more requests. Before we start playing, guess the character. And I would love to see who can guess what character I'm drawing as I'm drawing the character, or when I finish. I forgot to draw legs on Mickey Mouse, so there you go, Mickey. Here's some legs. Tyler says, let's play guess the character. Let's see if we're going to have a tiebreaker. Alright, number 2 for Tea Time, Aaron. Well, we got a Figment. Well, we got ourselves a little Figment coming our way. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. My name is Figment. Ha, ha, ha. Tarzan and Figment. Going. You got it. Here we come. Tarzan and Figment. Whoop. Alright, Gutty is saying, can you draw Georgina? Yes, I can draw Georgina. Yes, I can draw Georgina. So we got ourselves a Figment. One little spark of imagination makes for all creation. One little spark of imagination makes for all creation between you and I, allegedly. Sing along, everybody. Next, not. I have an idea. I have an idea, everybody, where we draw the film. Hang tight, everybody. Thank you, everybody, while we await technology to finally work. Blake is asking if we can do Slinky Dog. Absolutely. We can do ourselves some Slinky Dog. And here we go. Hello, Blake. How you doing? And one moment, everybody, having to refresh some technology. Thank you for your patience as we wait to draw Figment. Here you go. Oops. Why did this thing stop? For you and I, one little spark makes for all creation. One spark for you and I, one little spark of imagination Oh, Figment, what you doing? You can't go into the idea lab. Do 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 do. One little spark of imagination, imagination, do 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 do, makes for all creation. I forgot the lyrics. One little spark of imagination. Here and here you go, and here you go, Blake. Just for y'all. And there you go. Tea-Time Mary Ellen. Blake says to put a paper towel on the musical phone. So there you have it. Next time we draw Figment, we're gonna be putting the paper towel on the phone. This way it won't be as squeaky and as loud. So here we go. Thank you so much, Blake. That means a lot. And yes, I can draw Tarzan. Tarzan, the jungle man, swinging through the jungle. I don't want to finish the rest of that sentence. Even though you know. That was a song that people used to sing and chant at my elementary school. Matter of fact, that song became so prevalent that it nearly became the school's anthem before the teachers cracked down on it and banned it. Same with silly bands, same with Pokemon cards, all the fun stuff banned. So here you go, Tarzan, the jungle man, swinging through the jungle. Can't finish that sentence, or I'll get in trouble for my principal. Good to see you all too. This is actually my very first time drawing Tarzan. Of all things, when it comes to Disney characters, I'm not really getting into Tarzan or many of like the human or drawing many of the human characters. I mostly draw the Disney animal characters, and I've not drawn many princesses in my life. Ta-da, Mickey. Well, Blake, we were just talking about how people got in trouble for singing the Tarzan anthem at my school, and if you either got caught with silly bands or singing Tarzan, you were either sent to detention, you either had your silly bands confiscated, or you either got to you got busted. You either got the yellow slip of doom sent home with you. Nobody wanted that. So next up for Gutty, we're gonna be drawing Slinky Dog. So here is my side-eyes Tarzan. Tarzan unfortunately didn't have the best of best days. Thank you, Tea-Time Mary Ellen. That means a lot. And hopefully Tarzan gets to have a way better day any day soon. So right now, we're gonna be drawing the famous Slinky Dog roller coaster, which actually at its peak had a 90-minute wait time today. So unfortunately, if you want to ride Slinky Dog, you either have to get a fast pass lightning. Actually, you have to get a lightning lane, or you either have to get a lightning lane. And yes, I can draw a baby Yoda and a baby shark. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Mama shark, do 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 do. Mama shark, mommy, why Slinky Dog Dash a 90-minute wait? Baby shark, because it's such a popular ride. Can we please ride? But mommy, can we please ride something else? Well, baby, let's go ride Tower of Terror. Oh no, anything but Tower of Terror. Let it go. No, anything but that. Sing something with a little bounce in it. It's a small world after all. It's a small world. Oh no, anything but that. Well, baby, let's go ride some swirling saucers then. So they lived happily ever after, and they rode swirling saucers for the rest of the Disney World stay. The end. So that's what I got. Slinky Dog, and swallowing saucers. Sometimes when I mess up Slinky Dog's ears, he looks like Dumbo the Flying Elephant. So instead of Dumbo the Flying Elephant, we got ourselves Dumbo the Flying Slinky, who requires roller coaster tracks to fly. And do you know that in the very first animated Incredibles movie, there was a character dog that had rocket boots, and I actually thought that rocket boots existed, so I kept begging my mom to buy me a pair of rocket boots. So she said, Hey Tony, you either want to go to New Orleans for New Year's, or you want to buy yourself some rocket boots. And I'm like, rocket boots. Well, that was the answer. That was not the answer she was looking for. So I ended up going to New Orleans instead of getting a pair of rocket boots for Christmas. And I also didn't get that hippopotamus either, or that inflatable RV. Pardon me. And I also did not get an inflatable carnival ride either. So no rocket boots for anybody. And also when it came to rocket boots, I seriously thought that you made rocket boots and that you actually made rocket boot proportion by mixing egg yolk. Actually, not right. That you actually mixed egg yolks, cilantro, celery, chives, and if you mix together these ingredients and pour them down the boots, your boots would actually fly. Well, that was a culinary disappointment. I did go through trying to make myself some rocket boots with eggs, scrambled eggs, and guess what? My feet ended up eating scrambled eggs instead, and that was a culinary disaster. Sorry, Chef Ramsay. Please forgive me. Yep, that's right. We got ourselves a Slinky Dinky Dog. And note, this is the closest we'll ever get to riding Slinky Dog Dash. Look, there you go, Slinky Dog Dash. He's on a roller coaster track. Look, this is the closest we'll ever ride Slinky Dog Dash. I'm not sure why, but the way I drew his Slinkies reminds me of Pepto-Bismol. Yes, what's the other requests? I'll love to hear all the other requests you got. Ah, yeah. Chicken in the egg, white chicken in the boot. You're very, very welcome, Blake. And sometimes I can be kind of a mess. Oh, yeah, Baby Yoda. Hello, Stitch. Good to see you. Oh, so good to see you. Baby Yoda. Do, Baby Yoda. And you know what's kind of silly and funny? Is that somebody actually told me that I need to talk in a more mature and more adult voice. And if I want to get taken seriously by the world or invited places, that I should have a deeper voice. And I should sound a lot less like a child. So, unfortunately for them, they're going to be listening to Baby Shark for the foreseeable future. Because they say, stop sounding like a baby. I'm like, not. Since you say stop sounding like a baby, you're going to get Baby Shark. And you're going to get yourself some Baby Yoda right now. So, if you're listening, hello there. Hello, David T. Good to see you. What's up and how you doing? This is Baby Yoda's reaction to whoever told me that I need to grow up. Baby Yoda be like, what? Really, dude? Hello, Soul Cargo. Good to see you. What's up and how you doing? If you don't mind sharing, what did you end up sewing up today? Otherwise, it's okay even if you wish to surprise us. Hello, David. Good to see you. Hello. And I'm also curious, David, are you a crab? Right? Are you a lobster? Baby Shark versus Baby Yoda. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. So know what? Every single time that person says, you need to grow up and you need to speak with your mature voice, they're going to be hearing, I don't want to grow up. I'll always be a Toys R Us kid. Sorry. And sometimes, when it comes to Karens, They don't always get their ways. You don't always get what you want, Karen. And sometimes you don't always get what you want, Karen. Even if you cry about it on the internet. So there you go. A baby Yoda. Not yet, Blake, but who is Gildan's cookie artwork? I definitely got to do some research. Oh, and oh my gosh, that's so sweet, so cargo that you made yourself a sweatshirt with a Cinderella's castle on it. I will definitely keep an eye out for that. And here we go, Baby Shark versus Baby Yoda. So not for the, here you go, Baby Shark. Someone did say that I do sound like a heckler, but I digress. So yeah, I do ways that I have apraxia of speech, which does make me sound like a heckler at times, just how I enunciate words and pronounce stuff. And in this case, the baby shark is just like the fish from Deluxe, from Dr. Seuss's Deluxe. You know what I find really silly about Dr. Seuss's Deluxe movie is that the fish can actually walk on land. And do you know that there was an actual fish called a lungfish that can breathe both on land and on the sea and in the sea, and sometimes with lungfish H2O just adds a water. And sometimes with lungfish, they actually do burrow into the ground for the cold season, and they do hibernate like bears, allegedly. Please don't quote me on my biology lessons on my lectures. I have not taken biology for eons. Or for millennial. Unfortunately, I'm no millennial falcon, so there goes biology. Biology 101, adios. That's very well put, so cargo. Tony, don't worry about what others think. Focus on the ones that all your friends here and said, "Aw, thank you so much." So cargo also does add, these people make themselves look silly. Really good point. And I definitely gotta try, and not today, for today's Foodie Saturday, we're gonna draw the golden cookie art. Hello, Matthew. Good to see you. What's up and how you doing? And thank you so much for all the positivity and all the good times here. Golden cookies, not golden cookies. Unfortunately, we're not the golden girls or can hold a candle to the golden girls, because that is how great a comedy is. So here we go. Let's do ourselves a golden cookie, not a golden girl cookie. Someone also said that I should try some AMSR, but if I ever do AMSR, I bet everybody would be wide awake. So instead of falling asleep, I'm going to be the decaffeinated version of AMSR. So instead of drinking Red Bulls and Monsters, sorry, this is not a product placement. Oh, this video is not sponsored by them. Instead of drinking drinking a bunch of Red Bull and Monster, come to Tonio Tower for a nice morning of wake-up call AMSR. Because sometimes AMSR does give you wings. Allegedly. So here you go, the golden cookie thingy with chocolate chips. Thank you, Blake, for the happy birthday wishes. So know what? Let's play Guess the Character. If anybody has any more requests, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to be playing Guess the Character. And alright, Matthew says, can you draw Hercules and Notre Dame and Hunchback? Got it. We'll start with Hercules. We'll start with Hercules, then Notre Dame and Hunchback. Just like how we start with the letter M when we spell Mississippi. And do you know that Mississippi has more S's than my biological name? So Mississippi out S's me for good. 5 by 10. That is so wild, Blake, that each month the golden cookie has a character with a backstory. And I'm curious, Blake, what backstory did January's golden cookie have? And what I love about Hercules is it actually sings the theme song of Hercules doing Happily Ever After. Thank you so much, Sal. That means a lot. Hercules is actually another rather tricky character to draw, just because of his angular facial features. And do you know that in the last scene of the Little Mermaid, when all the people show up, that was actually one of the very first not generated, but computer animated scenes where Disney actually used computers to assist the animators with the scenes. And also same with 101 Dalmatians. Do you know that with 101 Dalmatians, Disney decided to ink every character in a black outline? And what happened, and the reason is so that they could use the computer to color in the characters, especially the Dalmatian spots, and particularly in most Disney films in most Disney films prior to the 1990s. Hello, Joe. Good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? We got ourselves a dog, not a Hercules. Oh wait, that reverse that, and we got ourselves a Hercules, not a dog. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes, Matthew. And the reason, and you know in Snow White, if you look very carefully at the line work, that the line work does use a variety of colors and brown gradients, but most of the 90s animations only have one solid outline for the characters. That is so the computers would have an easier time coloring in the characters, rather than the animators having to color in each character frame by frame. Another thing I find really fascinating is that the black on Maleficent's dress was that the black pigment that the animators used on Maleficent's dress was so greasy and so sticky that the animators would have to wash their hands up to 50 times a day. That's the rumor. Don't quote me on the allegation, on the allegedness. Oh, thank you so much, Joe. That means a ton. Don't quote me on the story. That's just the story. That is on the internet. Oops, I already messed. Here you go. Hello, Soft Bums. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? Oh, thank you so much. And alright, so coming up, our next character is going to be the Hunchback in Notre Dame. I've never seen the Notre Dame in Hunchback. Notre Dame and the Hunchback, who that nation, going once, going twice, and we hit the home run touchdown. Let's see how we're going to draw the Hunchback. Whoop. Feed the birds, oh feed the birds. Oops, wrong movie. That's Mary Poppins. And here we go. So I was asking, have you drawn the fairy godmother? Not quite yet, because you and I are with the fairy odd pants. Timmy Turner was an average kid that nobody understood. Mom and Dad were always gone, but he had 2 goldfish in his room that granted every one of his wishes. Oops, wrong franchise again. That's no fairy godmother. That's the fairy odd parents. Let me redo this guy. Some characters, they do take me a few tries to get just right. And I also learned with Disney characters, when in doubt, start with the nose, because the nose is the most dominant facial feature. Then, if you feel confident with the nose, go on to the mouth, then to the eyes, then the forehead, then the pupils, then the Q-tips, then the common denominator. One of the assignments that I had to do, and 3D animation when it used to be a 3D animation major, well, that ship sailed into a whole new horizon. Is I was in charge of turning a 2-dimensional Disney character into a 3-dimensional Disney character. Matter of fact, I nearly chose the fairy godmother until I ended up with Dumbo the flying elephant, which didn't end up so well. He looked more like Dumbo the flying slinky dog, and he would have been flopping across the roller coaster track. So sorry, Dumbo the flying elephant, you didn't get no justice. So here's the Hunchback. He's kind of a tricky character to draw, just because of his proportions and how he does take up and how he does dominate and can dominate half of the frame. So there you go. Here's the Hunchback. And I'm curious, so Cargo. What makes the Fairly Odd Mother your absolute favorite character? Who is a Quasimodo? Isn't Quasimodo one of the medallions in Star Wars? Oh, thank you so much, Matthew. It was my very first time drawing the Hunchback. I'm not sure why, but this is an absolutely very random, not very Disney subject. But if you're curious about what other genres I like watching and participating on YouTube about, all right. So Gutty says he looks like Hercules. Here's the Hercules. Whoop. Some people like many moons ago were asking if I watch anything besides Disney content. And I was like, yes, I do. Some of the other content I watch and participate in is anti-MLM, which stands for multi-level marketing content and multi-level marketing business. And I do find myself watching a lot of videos about the predatory and messed up nature of how multi-level marketing business we can ruin friendships, finances, and households by vicious recruitment tactics, which isolate the people who participate from their family and friends. And I'm not sure what it was, but I got really hooked in that kind of content genre. Another piece of content genre that I got really hooked into was like travel blogs, was like the cruising community, where I ninja watch a bunch of people's like cruising videos and how people prepare for the cruises. So that's some of the other things I watch besides Disney content on YouTube, if anybody's curious. And yes, I can draw the one and only Maleficent Spaceship Earth, and also Cruising Theme Park Guide. If you're in here, this one is for you. Here is the Maleficent Spaceship Earth for Cruising Theme Park Guide and for Matthew too. I'm curious, Matthew, but what do you like about Spaceship Earth? So here you go, bibbidi bobbidi puck, bibbidi bobbidi boo, put one away, two come out, bibbidi bobbidi boo, and that may not be Deluxe. Oops. Hawk potato, hawk potato, hawk potato, hawk potato. So says, I don't watch cruise videos, but I love sailing videos. What kind of sailing videos do you watch? And we can draw a Spaceship Earth. Thank you so much, Matthew. And Matthew says, thank you to the phonics you learn about your ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, O, L, O, Y, O, O, D, T, O, W, E, R, H, O, T, L, E. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing along? You know what happened when I was spelling Spaceship Earth for a reference photo? As I was spelling Spaceship Earth, I was typing in Disney with Matthew, not Spaceship Earth. Oops. So here you go, the one and only Maleficent Spaceship Earth. And do you know that Disney would build a second Spaceship Earth? It would actually make the planet look like a giant Mickey Mouse. So Cargo says people who have sailboats that they live on Tony. I completely forgot that people would live on sailboats, and that's something of interest. I do know about van life and people who live in camper vans. We are sailing away on a fun ship. We are sailing away to the outer depths of outer space on a fun ship. You too, APP. Good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? Right now, we're talking about Spaceship Earth and sailing away on a fun ship. And we're also talking about what other things we watch on YouTube besides Disney content. Not sure why, but the way they do Spaceship Earth makes it look a little puny. We gotta enlarge it. Here we go. Whoop. Aw, thank you so much, APP Pirates, for the birthday wishes. Aw, thank you so much. And what I find really wild is that Spaceship Earth and that the Tower and that Spaceship Earth and that the Tower of Terror are the only two park icons with an actual attraction inside of it. And you know what's really wild about Spaceship Earth and Tower of Terror is that they have two completely opposite attractions. Spaceship Earth being a nice, relaxing dock ride. Meanwhile, Tower is a 13-story drop tower. And what's really ironic is seeing Spaceship Earth side by side with the Tower of Terror, just because when it comes to park icons, one icon represents all of life in Mother Earth, aka the Tree of Life. Another represents global peace, global unity, Spaceship Earth. Then we got Cinderella's castle, which represents fantasy and dreams coming true. And then you got the Tower of Terror, aka the Hollywood Tower Hotel, which represents pure terror, aka the Tower of Terror. So who would have thought that being surrounded by a bunch of world peace, fantasy, and magic and global unity would result in the Tower of Terror? Well, only at Disney, where magic breeds magic and the unpredictable. And if you have not already checked out, be sure to check out Amusement Park Pirates. They're a great friend of our channel. Woo! And they go live from Disneyland, and they also ride Mission Breakout and all the rides that I don't ride. Oh wow, it's already been 42 minutes. Time does fly when you're having a great time. And so Cargo says, wait. But doesn't the Tree of Life have an attraction? That show is themed for Zootopia. Oh my gosh, I just nearly forgot that the Tree of Life actually has a full-blown stage show attraction. So basically, you got yourself a bunch of attractions. You got yourself a drop tower. A stage show, and a dock ride. 3 for 1. Hello, Johnny. It's so good to see you. What's up, and welcome to the shenanigans. Do you have anything that you wish that I could draw, or that you can never ever get AI to generate in your dreams? One of my very favorite animated movies is Alvin and Chipmunks. I'm not sure, but my favorite movie song is Christmas Time is Me Here. Me, I want to hula. Please and thank you. How are you doing, Jared? And thank you so much. That means a lot. I've never seen the Notre Dame movie before, but I've seen the movie. I'm not sure, but I've seen one movie. Yeah, I can't figure out the name of it for the life of me. But there was this one Disney movie about a mouse and a bird, and there was and then there was these evil spirits that took over a choo-choo train, and literally the choo-choo train got covered with evil spirits and started burning. Not sure why, but I keep thinking about that movie. It's definitely not Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, because that train didn't turn to smithereens. So there you go. Cinderella, dressed in yellow, went upstairs. Went upstairs, kissed the snake, made a mistake. How many doctors did it take? Matthew says, can you draw Princess Peach? Absolutely. We have now entered the epic universe zone. We have crossed over into a dimension beyond sound, sight and sound. You now have entered the epic universe. Buzz Lightyear. Princess Peach, not Princess Beach. So here you go. The one and only Princess Peach. And what I find really wild about Princess Peach is that Princess Peach originated from Mario, which was like, I just lost my train of thoughts, more like the monorail thoughts. So let's back up this monorail. What I find really fascinating about Princess, hello Story of My Life, good to see you. What's up? How you doing? What I find really fascinating about Princess Peach is that she came from the Mario video game franchise, and when Mario was first being developed, the programmers had no clue how to animate, and they also had very limited computer space. So the first Mario was drawn in only drawn with 8 pixels, and he actually had tan overalls, not his bright red iconic overalls. What I find really fascinating is that the very early programmers had no clue how to actually animate a character, but very slowly over time, as computers began getting more sophisticated, people slowly started to figure out how to animate the characters. So what I find really wild is the fact that we now have full-blown 3-dimensional Mario movie that originated from an 8-bit polymer character across a Commodore 64 computer screen. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong. If I ever go to Epic Universe, one of my first rides I would actually ride is the Donkey Kong roller coaster. I'm not the biggest fan of roller coasters, but at the same time, I'm really interested in the Mario universe. And one of the places that I would love to visit is Mario Land. So if I'm ever in Orlando, maybe in December, I would definitely be streaming you. I'd definitely be showing you Epic Universe. Even though I can't really live stream any of the rides besides the Carousel of Progress. Not the Carousel of Progress, but the aquatic the Celestial Carousel and the the Yoshi movers. But fortunately, instead of showing you the rides, I'll show you what it's like just to be able to walk around and have a relaxing day at Epic Universe. Hello, Jalen. Good to see you. What's up and how you doing? And it definitely does take a lot of practice and discipline to draw. So basically, every hour I spend here drawing, I sit back at home, and I make drawing for like another 5 hours. I've actually started drawing when I was 5 years old, just because I just loved visual arts. And what got me into art was the fact that somebody gave me a 24-pack of Play-Doh at 24 months old, and my mom was like, "Oh no, that's gonna be a snack, not art supplies." And next thing you know, that's what got me into visual and fine art. It was Play-Doh. Originally, I was interested in like the Colorado Symphony, along with anything musical, but who would give but in most cases, who would give a kid a trumpet, a drum, especially a kid who wakes up at 4 a.m. in the morning, not 5 a.m., not 4:59, 4 a.m. And now what really sucks, Matthew, is that you can't film in the ride, so that what really sucks, Matthew. And that was kind of gutting, because I just love how you can film, as long as you have the proper equipment, you can film all over Disney, but not Epic or Universal, which really sucks because of all the copyright laws and all the copyright contracts they got. So that what really sucks. So here we go. Oh, thank you so much for the birthday wish. Story's asking, can you draw me Foggio the mini cat? So here we go, one Foggio for you. Foggio, not Mario. It's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Come inside and see. Not sure why, but now I got Disney Junior stuck in my head. And Jared's asking, Tony, are you planning on working in an animation studio one day? Absolutely yes. If I ever get an animation job, my dream job would be the storyboard artist or the conceptual artist rather than the animator. Sitting there and animating all day long is not my cup of tea, but I love to be the person. But I love to be the person who can actually sit down, storyboard, and work with the producers. That'd be one of my dreams. I'm not sure why, but Fogio reminds me of the Cat in the Hat. I do wonder if that's where Dr. Seuss got his inspiration for the Cat in the Hat through Fogio. Because based off of Fogio's animation style, it just looked like that he was first debuted in the 1960s. And I do think that the Cat in the Hat did appear in the later 60s. Or was it vice versa? Sometimes some things you'll never know, especially in the creative realm. And he also does look like Felix the cat too, more like Tom and Jerry. Oh, thank you so much, Jared. That'd be a dream come true, is to be a storyboard artist. And honestly, the more I think about it, I would not mind being a frame by frame artist if I could actually learn the process of animation and to fine tune my animation foundations. So here you go, Fogio. Whoop. Yow, yow, yow. I just noticed that Fogio does have a human tongue. Oh, that's so sweet, So Cargo. I would love to see a photo. And So Cargo's asking, do you always do Disney around Christmas time? Or do you go around different times of the year? Well, that's a great question. I used to go around different times of the years. And I also go when it's not boiling hot or when I'm going to be boiling my eyes out. But usually I go before June or any time after October. But in this case, I'm actually gonna make it a tradition to go to Disney every year for Christmas, just because of how much I love ringing in the New Year with the Hollywood Tower Hotel. So that's gonna be my new tradition, to be with the Hollywood Tower Hotel each and every Christmas that I can. And also another really weird thing for me is sometimes my mind associates words with the most random things. So I'm not sure why, but sometimes when I see the Hollywood Tower Hotel, I can think about the word medulla. So I'm like, Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. Mama Medulla. Cock-a-doodle-doo. So here you go, Fogio. Yeah. Meow Mix, anybody? Who wants some Meow Mix? You are very, very, very welcome, Story. And also not just for you to start my life, we should draw Oreo and Maria. No, not Oreo, but Oliver and Maria. Matthew says, as a heads up, the only things that you're allowed to film at Universal are the Baby Shark rides, the Hollywood Express Train, E.T., Dr. Seuss Land, and Yoshi Land. But it's not allowed but no thrill rides are allowed, which really does suck, especially for people who do love themselves some thrill rides. And I do think, and yes, I can draw Cleo the goldfish. That's so awesome, So Cargo, that you're going in 13 days, November. So I'm curious, So Cargo, what days are you going to be there in May? I'm there right now. It looks like I'm there from the 15th to 17th, and I'm going to be with the Bring Back the Magic podcast, from what I can tell. That's good to hear. That's always good to hear, Matthew. That Disney is very flexible with filming on rights, which is why I believe it's such a popular live stream destination. And I do hope that Universal can put in some policies that will allow people to film on rides as long as they have the proper equipment, like chest mounts, gimbal holders, and everything that ensures safety. I also feel that Universal is very stingy on filming on rides, just because the class of thrill rides is way greater than Disney, and in most Universal rides makes Disney's most thrilling rides look very, very tame. I do know that some amusement parks you have to have a lot of really specialized equipment to be able to film. Yep, Matthew says you can't. The only rides you can't film at Disney are Rock and Roller Coaster and Tron. Definitely, unless you have a chest mount, or unless you have a chest harness. I've actually seen quite a few channels film on Tron and Space Mountain, which I find rather impressive, especially since they could transfer the entire gimbal setup to the chest mount in within seconds or minutes. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? We're drawing Oliver and Mariah the Disney cats, which unfortunately look a little bit more like Tom and Jerry on a bad day. Yeah, just based off how my artwork's coming out. Let me take a look. Oh no, Robin. Our next character is going to be Daisy Duck. Just for you, Robin. We're going to draw you Daisy Duck, and we're going to miss each other, Soul Cargo. Also, Soul Cargo, are you going to be going in December by chance? Because I would absolutely love to meet you. And it really sucks that our May trips don't overlap at all. I'm only going to go for a very short amount of time in May, just because I do have to get work, because I do have work done, and I will be saving for my Christmas trip. Oh, you're very welcome, Story. I just love drawing. I just love drawing a bunch of Disney characters. I am wondering, what do you like about Oliver and Maria? I've never seen the Aristocrats before, but I've only seen the songs. The only thing I remember about the Aristocrats is somebody being tied up in a chair, and the kidnappers kidnapping them. That's all I remember. And I was doing second grade film fest. I just like stormed out of the classroom crying that day, just because I didn't like that imagery. So I never got to see Aristocrats besides that scene. But you know what's really wild is I've actually seen the movie All Dogs Go to Heaven, which I find really wild, just because what I find really wild about All Dogs Go to Heaven is that it's made to look like a Disney movie, but it is not. But it's not a Disney movie at all. And Soul Cargo says, Tony, how far is that plane ride for you to Disney? Well, that's a great question. So let's rewind the clock all the way back to 1964 to the opening day of It's Small. Oops, wrong spell. Correction. So when it comes to Disney, you know that there's time zones. I'm in the Mountain Time Zone, which is 1 hour ahead of Disneyland, but 2 hours behind of Disney World. You see where this math is going? So total flight time is 3 hours and a half on a good day. Most times it's 4 hours. But then you have to add 2 hours onto your flight time just because of how you jump across 2 time zones. So basically, getting to Disney World eats up anywhere between 6 to 8 hours on a good day, plus the airport, plus the travel. So it takes me 10 hours to get to Disney World and back. But fortunately, I've learned a secret where if I take the evening flight or the flight from the crack of dawn flight or midnight flight, I can basically sleep on the airplane and not waste an entire day or even a second in Disney World because I land 3 hours before the park even opens and I can rope drop. Even though I've been flying and traveling all night long, it's worth the rope drop. And definitely sorry, it was such a sad movie, especially the scene where the dog was trying to hide the clock, and he had to rewind his time to go back. It was so gut wrenching. Story says, All of Them Company is just a great movie. I love the music and the story is so cute. Aww. Is that a different movie than the Aristocrats? Did you know that somebody actually tried having? Do you know that somebody tried having an Olive and Company themed birthday party? Unfortunately, what happened is when they went to go get the merchandise. When they went to go get the merchandise, all they had was Hello Kitty merchandise at the party store. So basically, there was one Olive and Company cake and a bunch of Hello Kitty merch. So we basically had Hello Kitty party favors, Hello Kitty paper plates, Hello Kitty napkins, and everything was Hello Kitty but the cake. So it was a kind of a sad birthday. So it says, oh well, I go from Canada to Buffalo in about 30 minutes plus whatever the border wait time is that I fly, and then it's 2.5 hours, and I take the Meals bus to the resorts. That is so lucky. That's so lucky, so Cargo, that you get to live in the same time zone. And I didn't know that you came from Canada, so that's very lucky that you get to come from the exact same time zone, and that it's only a 30-minute flight. That is so convenient. A 30-minute flight to Florida would be a dream come true. Robin is asking. Oh wait, Amusement Park Pirates is asking. Do you do anything fun today? Well, for my birthday, I ended up getting myself some birthday treats from the Asian market. Since I do love mooncake and red bean paste buns, I also do celebrate Lunar New Year's due to my heritage and the fact that I was adopted from China. Oof, that's rough. 2.5 hours. Long, a mighty long time. I thought that you had a 30-minute flight, and I was like, well, you're lucky. So here you go. Aristocrat. Meow, 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 meow. Oops, that's Nyan Cat, not Aristocrat. And Robin is asking, Tony, is today your birthday? I know it's this month. Actually, my birthday is tomorrow, but I'll be working. So I'm like, you know what? Let's live it up tonight. Let's celebrate. Let's go big or go home tonight. So let's celebrate tonight. So here you go. Well, to celebrate, we're doing some live art requests. We also have a cupcake with 3.9 inches of frosting, a birthday candle that we can't illuminate because we can't find matches, Easter sprinkles because I couldn't find my birthday sprinkles, and over here we got a little teeny tiny party hat that was supposed to go on to this one moment wrong thingy, and we're also celebrating with a teeny tiny party hat that was supposed to go right on here, but unfortunately, let me zoom on out. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out, so it was supposed to sit right on this, but it just fell off. So moving on. And we also got another cupcake with four, not one, not two, but 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and it looks more like a bar stool. Hello. Oh, what the heck? I literally thought that the wrapping said, happy birthday, not hello, baby. Wah, wah, wah. That's definitely a pretty cupcake story. And I'm not sure why, but this reminds me of the Buzz Lightyear Paint Night Float. Buzz Lightyear, whoop! Dreidel, not Dreidel. Buzz Lightyear, we're gonna paint the night. We're gonna paint the night, and oops, we broke a candle. And also, if you look very carefully, if you want to know how my birthday is really going, you see these little sprinkles? I thought these were birthday cakes. Nope, they are Easter eggs. Not even Valentine's, not even St. Patrick's Day. Easter eggs. Hello, baby. How you doing, baby? Moving on. And you see this, and if you're curious, if you see this confetti right here, I'm not even finished yet, but if you see this confetti right here, I was going to go and get some official confetti from Party City, but Party City went bankrupt, so we improvised. Hip hip hooray! So Cargo, next time we meet up, all if you want me to do, no, it's so Cargo, I have an idea. You see this cupcake, and you see freeze dry ice. So my idea would be to actually box you up this freeze-dried ice, freeze-dried cupcake surrounded by freeze-dried ice. Oh, wait a second. We got customs. So my idea, so cargo, is the next time you come to the USA, I'll bring you one of these cupcakes for you. Customs can be a little finicky sometimes. So it's like, sometimes you get your food, other times you get nada. Same here, I've been parked pirate as well. And another thing about this birthday was, these cupcakes were supposed to be neon pink, like my sweater. Guess what? I accidentally used the chocolate cake recipe, not the Valentine's vanilla recipe. And by the time I was putting these things into the cake pan batter, I noticed I was too late, so we got chocolate cupcakes. So here we go, let's get back to art. Oh, that really sucks, so cargo. And I completely understand. I used to not be able to tolerate much gluten, dairy, soy, celiac, sesame, and just about all the common foods. So I ended up having to make paleo cupcakes. Does anybody have any art requests? Any more art requests? Oh, thank you so much, Robin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you so much. And that's why amusement park pirates. Sometimes you got a parrot, and sometimes you get yourself a happy little accident. So Cargo says to draw Disney Magic and Mayhem. Absolutely love the idea. So what falls to do? Let's draw Magic and Mayhem. Drummer for Richard. Woo! And Richard, if you're watching this, absolutely love your sense of humor and commentary. Keep up the amazing shows. And I'm also blown away by how Richard is able to draw and create watercolor paintings, which blows me away with his ability to capture depth and perspective. Disney Magic and Mayhem going once, going twice. Not sure why, but I can't get his channel up one moment, everybody. Hello, Felix. Good to see you. Woo! Hello, Holiday Shelby. How you doing? And we can definitely draw you Stitch. Oops, wrong button. Right at YouTube. Open up. Alright, so we got ourselves Richard. Then we got ourselves Stitch. And we can draw ourselves the 3 hitchhiking ghosts. Oh, thank you so much, Felix. I'm doing great. Glad to hear you're doing great. And heck yeah, let's have a blast. Let's live it up. Oh, I totally understand, Robin. I'm also hoping that Pops V is okay. I did send Pops V a text, and I just really hope that he's doing okay. So Pops V, if you're here, I hope you're doing okay. So here you go, the one and only Richard. And now let's draw Richard doing artwork, doing some art. Artist Richard. So here we go. Richard is in his artist bandana because adventure awaits. Oops, that's simple. Sometimes you gotta balance the gimbal. Like balance the paper. And there's something so amazing and sweet about how Richard smiles. Not sure what about his smile, but it's so sweet and so contagious in a really good way. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Richard not too long ago. He was absolutely fantastic and so sweet to meet. And it was definitely very lucky that our paths managed to cross. I did not think that would happen, but next thing I knew, I'm like, Richard, hey Richard. So I ended up running into Richard. I kind of forgot where I met him, but I just remember just how absolutely elated I was to finally get to run into Richard. So here you go, Richard. Whoop. Here's a painting of you doing some paintings. And I can't draw hands for anything, so excuse the hands. And sorry that his hand looks like ChatGPT. Oops, let me redo his hand. Oh my gosh, you just made it Rose. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hello, King of Hobby Lobby. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? So, unfortunately, our hand-drawn version of Richard has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 fingers if you count the overlapping fingers. Because sometimes when you try drawing artwork, it does come off. Sometimes when you try drawing human hands, sometimes it's really hard. They're really difficult to get just right. Stitchy, stitchy, stitch. So here's Richard Here's Richard sketching a stitch. This is just him sketching. Hello, Spiky Cool. Good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? So here we go. Let's draw a stitchy, stitchy, stitch. And also, don't forget to boop the tickle nose to keep the good luck coming. I nearly forgot to draw Richard in his tickle hat. The wonderful water tickle. Boop, boop, boop. I'm doing well. What about you, Spiky Cool? Right now, we're just doing some Disney fan art. Hello, speaking of the Richard has a ribbon, and here you go, Richard. You're drawing a hybrid of Baby Stitch and Baby Yoda combined in a Baby Shark. You have 6 fingers and a tickle hat. Sometimes happy little accidents do happen, and I nearly forgot to put the tickle nose on Richard so that we can boop the tickle nose for good luck and good fortune. Aw, thank you so much, Richard. That means a lot. And I'm so glad you made it. That he definitely is. He's one of a kind. Has a very great take and taste about the parks, and he's very knowledgeable. Oops. Pardon me. Sneeze. So here you go. The famous tickle hat. The wonderful water tickle. Just because we can bounce, 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 bounce. Oh, thank you so much. And welcome to the shenanigans. So, King of Hobby Lobby says to draw Hobby Lobby, then we can draw Stitch. Alright, know it. Alright, so he says to draw Cleo. Alright, so here's the order. We got Cleo, we got Cleo, Hitchhiking Ghost, Stitch, then Hobby Lobby. Got it. Here we go. Grim, Grin, and Ghost come out to socialize, drinking Grim, Grin, and Grape. I wonder who Cleo is. Oh, Cleo from Pinocchio. Oh. And Cleo does look like an animation character from the 1940s, just based off how his line look is. Heck yeah, woo! I can't wait to hear Richard. I can't wait to see what kind of art you do. Definitely very excited, very hyped up. I have been missing your art streams. So here you go, Cleo. Here we go, Cleo. Cleopatra. You mean the one and only Cleopatra? And do you know that Domino's? Do you know that in the current timeline, that Cleopatra, that I forgot what I was going to say about Domino's, but it had to do with some sort of time. That do you know that Cleopatra got crowned closer to when Domino's opened versus when the first pyramid of Egypt was actually built. So basically, what it is that Cleopatra got crowned the Queen of Egypt, literally not Queen of Egypt, but the Queen of Greece, if I recall correctly, got crowned the Queen of Greece closer to when the first Domino's was built versus when the first pyramid was constructed. I might have convoluted the timelines a little bit, but that is what I recall when it comes to Cleo. Yes, what is your game, Spiky Crew? What game do you want us to play? Under the sea, where the seaweed is green. Under the sea, bum 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 bum. Mr. Sandman, give us your dream. Give us your dream of under the sea. So here you go, Cleo. Glup, glup, glup. Oh, thank you so much, Spiky Crew. That means a lot. We definitely gotta get this artwork out somewhere. And I really appreciate everybody who is here enjoying the night of artwork and birthday celebration. So we got ourselves Cleo from Amusement Park Pirates. And here we go, Amy, and let's see, Story of My Life. Oh yeah, we got Shelby. We gotta do Stitchy for Shelby. Hello, Felix, good to see you, what's up? And then the 3 hitchhiking ghosts. Alright, Felix says, let's play a game of musical chairs. Alright, here we go, a game of musical chairs. Chair number 1, chair 2, chair 3, chair 4, and chair number... Nope, that's not the right chair. And here's a game of musical chairs. So, what song should we sing? And tell me when to stop. If our finger lands on a blank sheet of paper, we lose the game. But if our finger lands on one of the chairs, we win the game. So, tell us when to stop. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. And oops. We stopped the musical chair, so back to the artwork. Stop. Wait a minute. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Whoop. Oh, that is so sweet that he goes with Stories Fagio. So let's get back to drawing. And that's right, Felix. That was one round of musical chairs. Hello, Robert. Good to see you. Woo! Thank you so much. So here we go. Grim Grin Girls come out to socialize. If anybody has any art requests, be sure to drop them in the chat below for extra good luck today. Alright, we got Cleo, Stitchy, Stitchy, Stitch, and the Hitchhiking Ghosts. If you like pina colada, there's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere down here in Margaritaville. Robin's asking, Tony, did you ever figure out if you were looking at the tower of Cinderella's castle? What were you doing in the last room? Well, Robin, let's clarify some stuff. So when it comes to Cinderella's castle, rumor has that Disney is already starting work on repainting the castle, but unfortunately, because a rumor has it that the castle somehow got transported from the Magic Kingdom to Hollywood Studios. This is what the castle looks like right now, and just because of how the castle looks, well, that means we've been looking at the Cinderella's castle the entire time, not the Hollywood Tower Hotel, and this is where Tinkerbell comes out. This is not a full replica of the tower, unless the castle, but unfortunately, because of shrinkflation, the castle did shrink to the size of our palms. So right now, you're looking at the one and only Cinderella's castle, allegedly. And here you go. This is where Tinkerbell comes out, and this is where Chaz stands. So Chazzy Cat, if you're studying the chat, this is where Chaz stands, and this is where Tinkerbell stands. So guess what? When Happily Ever After goes out, when Happily Ever After goes off, Tinkerbell comes flying out of there, and then there's confetti. So there you go. This is what happens when shrinkflation takes over the world. And here you go, Robin. Here is what happens to Cinderella's castle when it gets repainted, remodeled, relocated, shrunk, and then handed off to my hands. So this is Cinderella's castle. So everybody who's going to be rope-flopping the Magic Kingdom, they're in for an alleged awakening, in my opinion, just for legal purposes. I always say my opinion and allegedly, just to safeguard you from legal stuff. So there you go, Chaz. Here's your castle. Thanks, Robin. Thank you so much. I do enjoy a good laugh. And now, going back to Stitchy because he got intercepted. And that's correct, Chaz. Hello, Rob. Hello, Angie. Good to see you. What's up and how you doing? And I'm curious, Spiky Crew, what kind of fan art do you make? A little trick is when you're drawing Stitch, to draw a half a watermelon, just because Stitch's head is shaped like a watermelon. So right now we're drawing Stitch from Leo and Stitch. Before we got sidetracked by the Magic Kingdom by the Magic Kingdom's castle update. And that's right, it's 6:56 at Chaz's house. 6:25 is close enough to Margaritaville time. A little bit after, a little bit before. Sometimes it's better to be late than to be never, especially when it comes to Dole Whip floats. That is what happens when you get. That's what happens when you shrink down Cinderella's castle. You combine it with the Hollywood Tower Hotel. You get the Cinderella Tower Hotel with a side of Tinkerbell coming out to shoot. Yeah, but I yell cut time at my house, and I'm not drawing Tinkerbell yet. So Robert, speaking of Tinkerbell, let's turn our Tinkerbell dreams into fruition. Do you know that allegedly? Do you know that that Tinkerbell back in the 1970s allegedly sprayed real pixie dust in the Magic Kingdom? So when Tinkerbell would fly over the castle, she would actually sprinkle real pixie dust, so people could stop so that people could stop flying, actually feeling what it actually so that people could actually feel what it felt like to fly around the kingdom for the evening. Unfortunately, one too many kids flew away allegedly, and whelped that into that after a few short years. Now Tinkerbell displays fake pixie dust from the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And unfortunately, that kind of pixie dust from the Hollywood Tower Hotel makes it drop back into reality faster than a brick made out of sand. And we are back, sorry about. Hey everybody, we are back. We are live and we are better than ever. Whoever is calling me, please stop calling me. Hello, troops. Hello, everybody. We are back. I do apologize for the lag. Please let me know if you can hear anything. Hello, anybody? Can you hear going once, going twice? Hello, hello, hello. All right, now you can hear us. Oof, what a relief. So, I do apologize for that. And I do apologize if I did use the Lord name in vain out of frustration. And I deeply apologize for that. It was I messed up. I'm glad you can hear. So, let me fill you in. I'm not going to say anyone's name. I'm not going to take down the mood. But literally, I have this person who I know, who I've known for quite some time on YouTube. And I gave him the number. Okay, thanks, Robin. I'm glad to hear. I just get very nervous whenever I mess up I think I said something bad. So, hello Lyle, good to see you. Well, let me keep the story very short. So I had this person who I known on YouTube for quite some time, and we exchanged numbers. Little did I realize that they would be calling me constantly, and when I say constantly, sometimes they'd be calling me up to $25 times a day, even when I say, hey look, I'm at work. Hey look, I'm sorry I can't call. My cell service is out. And you might have seen them in the chat. You might have seen them leave repeat messages, which can be a little frustrating as a streamer, and can be a little frustrating as somebody who is, and it can be a little frustrating as somebody who's trying to have a good time, to only get bombarded with not one but 25 calls in a row. Especially when I'm streaming natively from YouTube, not Prism. On Prism, it's not a big deal. I can just mute them I can just mute the number, but not on YouTube, just because of how my phone is connected to YouTube. So literally, I might talking away and it goes buzz, 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 and it's like buzz, 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 and yes, I know. Sometimes you get that one really annoying telemarketer call where they just keep calling, and you just block them. They move on. So literally after I got 25, my phone just went off 25. My phone just went off 25 times, and there's been days where I can't even use my phone because my phone just keeps going off with like a bombardment of texts, and that's why sometimes I'm like absent from the internet just because I can't because my phone becomes unusable. So sometimes my phone becomes so unusable to the point where literally I just sit around and watch Netflix instead. So, long story short, that is why my stream is acting a little wonky. And that's why you might have heard me yelling. Oh my gosh, please stop calling me, because this is not the first time. They have done it. They have done it multiple times over multiple streams. And yes, there's times where they come in the chat and they call me a joke. Some of you might have seen it. They called me where I was called a joke. And that's a good idea, troops. I might be changing my number if this does not stop. And that's right, Lyle. Don't give up personal information or the stream or the chat. I learned it the hard way. And I have to get call Robin just to block the number, which I just did right now. Hello, Amber. Good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? Do you all have, and on a happier note, do you all have any photo art requests? Right now, I'm just drawing a bunch of Lilo and Stitch characters, and I'm drawing the infamous aliens, the alien bellhop. Oof, that's rough, Buzz. That's very rough. It really sucks when it does happen. Yep, I'm definitely blocking that number, which I just did. I ended up just having to block it right now. And I just noticed that one of the alien bellhop from Stitch does have 2 tongues. And oh my gosh, we got so sidetracked. We forgot to do the Grim Grinning Ghost Hitchhiking Ghosts. So has anybody had the Grim Grinning Grape from the Haunted Mansion parlor on the treasure? I would love to hear if you did. And note, after we draw the bellhop alien, we're gonna be drawing the Grim Grinning Ghosts. The Hitchhiking Ghosts, not the Grim Grinning Ghosts. Oopsies. Hello, Cruising Theme Park Guide. Woo! Party time. You came just in time for the Grim Grinning Ghosts. Grim Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking, Amber. How's everybody else doing? Not hitchhiking forwards, waterfalls, hitchhiking ghosts. My favorite soda right now is the Grim Grinning Grape. And that's good to hear, Buzz. Safety is number one, especially when safety is number one, especially when it comes to dealing with people, not dealing, but especially when it comes to people that you're getting to know. Hello, all John. It's good to see you. What's up? How you doing? You came just in time for some Grim Grinning Ghosts. If you have any art requests, please let me know and drop them in the chat below. Oopsies. Whoop. Gotta clear after confetti. Sorry, Tinkerbell, but happily ever after is long over. So Tinkerbell just left off some confetti. And also, good news, yeah, Spaceship Earth has been restored to its original form and is no longer the castle. I didn't know that my friend Keith, he does love the Grim Grinning Ghosts just because, yeah, just not the Grim Grinning Ghosts, but the Haunted Mansion, mostly because of the music and the energy. What I love about the Haunted Mansion myself is that even though it's like a haunted ride, there's like enough comic relief to keep it from being an actually true scary haunted house experience. And matter of fact, when Disney was building the Hollywood Tower Hotel, aka the Tower of Terror, what I learned is that the Imagineers were like, we don't want another clone of the Haunted Mansion. We want something completely different. Whatever we do, don't make this the drop tower version of the Haunted Mansion. Make it a haunted hotel. Another really wild thing about Tower of Terror. Another thing that I find really wild about the Tower of Terror is that it was originally going to be a Frankenstein-themed attraction, but because of how MGM and Disney were negotiating, the creator of Young Frankenstein did not like how his vision was being warped and changed into like a themed attraction. So he pulled out, which is why the Tower of Terror evolved from Frankenstein to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And when Disney was like building like Tower of Terror, Disney was like, we want something outside of the Disney bubble, something rather unique, and calls for its own introduction. Grim Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize. And one of the Leo and Stitch Haunted Mansion parody posters, they actually had Stitch try to be a hitchhiking ghost, which did not involve for Stitch. I also get a really good laugh from like the Disneyland Haunted Mansion commercial, where the ghosts come out and haunt Disneyland, especially the scene where they get caught riding into Smallwood, and then they also got caught by Rocket Raccoon sneaking through Mission Breakout. The ghost ended up getting like dropped through the elevator shaft. And what I find really interesting about that scene, where the ghosts were getting dropped through Mission Breakout, is that Disney actually used the same commercial footage that they used for the Tower of Terror commercial, rather than footage from inside of Mission Breakout, which I found rather peculiar. Thank you so much, Chaz. I do love drawing the Grim Grinning Ghosts. Grim Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize. I forgot the rest of the lyrics. Grim Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize. Madame Delana, bring out the spirits, call the spirits, all of them one by one, because the ants, because the spirits go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The spirits go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah, all the way through Madame Lana's fortress, and the little one stopped to say Happy Halloween before they all kept marching through Disney World. I see you around, Leo, and don't forget to H2O yourself because when you H2O yourself, there's no denying that. You H2O to yourself. You really do H2O to, you all really do H2O, all the H2O in the world. Hello, G-Jet, good to see you. And Troops is asking, where did your love for towel come from? Disney should hire you to work for the towel. Oh my gosh, I would love to work for I would love to work for Disney, and I would love to do Tower of Towel artwork. That would be my dream. That would be my dream. Is to sit around and do Tower of Towel artwork. And I'll see you tomorrow, G-Jet. Alright, here we go. Whoop. So there you go, some grinning ghosts coming out to socialize. And here we go, Stitchy, Stitchy, Stitchy. Are you a ghost or are you a grinning ghost? Alright, here we go. Here's this. Oh yeah, I forgot. That is right, Chaz Cat, because now is the time. Now it is the best. Best time is to see you in the future. See you tomorrow. Today. See you in the future. Adios. Yep, to know. Troop says, hey, are you drawing my life when she is mad? Nope, I'm drawing a grinning ghost. But I can draw if you like me to do. So this is what a grinning ghost looks like. Oh, thank you so much, Ambo. And Tips, you might get yourself into some trouble. So there you go. Oh my gosh. You guys are really heating things up right now. So Robin says, hey Toops, can Tony please draw your wife when she's mad? You ask and you shall receive. So here's Toops' wife when she's really mad. This is just an alleged drawing. This is from personal experience only. Please consider this a parody art only and a parody depiction which is protected under the First Amendment. This is what I think somebody looks like when they get really mad. So this is an amendment. So right now, I'm exercising my very First Amendment in free speech. Here's somebody being very frustrated right now. So here you go. Somebody being very frustrated. Alright, see you, Angie. Have a great night. And this is somebody being really frustrated, but this is also another person who's really frustrated too. You are getting me in trouble. So speaking of really frustrated people, here is what happens when this is what happens when somebody else gets really frustrated too. So we don't always have to be frustrated. We don't always have to be the one who's frustrated. We can also see other people who are frustrated too. So speaking of frustration, here's somebody else being very frustrated right now. Hello, Joe. Good to see you. What's up? Yep, so much frustration. Yep. So if you know who this is, let me know. Give us a howl. We would love to know if we know who this is. Hello, Patrick. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? So here it goes. Well, George Jetson, I know you want a pay raise, but good thing I didn't give you a pay grab. Good thing I not give you a pay downgrade. I will give you a pay raise then. So here is. Hello, Rachel. Good to see you. You came just in time for some Jetson artwork. If you have any art requests, be sure to let me know. George Jetson. George Jetson. George Jetson. Poor George. How you doing, Rachel? Welcome to the madness. Alright, see you around, Angie. Have a lot of Disney dreams with a lot of pixie dust. Whoop. There you go, Jude Jetson. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. And cheers to the rest, the power of the rest. It wins from the east, wins from the west. Chim, 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 Marie. And Spikey's asking, do we have a Discord server? Well, that's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't have a Discord server quite yet, but that is a really great idea. Is to open up a Discord server. This way we can chat without having to give away personal information, and we can all. Toops says I can draw stick figures. I'm curious, Toops. What kind of stick figures can you draw? Hello, Tyler. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the birthday wish. Woo! So let's see. Does anybody have any follow-up requests? Otherwise, I'll just keep drawing Jetson characters. Meet George Jetson. Blah, blah, blah. I forgot the rest of the lyrics. Oh, that's awesome, Spikey. I would absolutely love to see you. I would love to see your fan art. I do love myself talent art. And same with Amber. I recall, I unfortunately was not born in time to watch the Jetsons on network television, but I did get to see the Jetsons. Barry Nimble first discovering the Jetsons during one of my summer camping trips in South Dakota. So I was really bored out of my mind, and I was browsing through the computer. Somehow our cabin in the woods had internet. So I was just sitting down at Acer, and I saw the show called The Jetsons. I immediately clicked on one of the episodes, and I saw Rosie the Robot. From that was over, and I was absolutely fascinated by the Jetsons franchise. So since then, I watched every single Jetsons episode that was available on YouTube, plus the movie. And unfortunately, I cannot find the entire series of episodes, which is kind of unfortunate. But I do love myself. The Jetsons series. And what I find really interesting is the minimal animation. Just because the creator Hanna-Barbera, behind the Jetsons were like, we need to make something that's very simple and very easy to mass produce for Saturday morning television, instead of relying on frame by frame complex animation. Might as well rely on like simplified animation, where we rely on like repeating gags and being able to like, cut and paste, and being able to cut and paste parts of the animation, which is why all the Jetsons, if you look very carefully, have a ring around the neck. This way they can remove the heads, change the heads out, and it expedites the animation process exponentially, which is why they call it animated radio. So it's basically a radio show with minimum animation. And what people found really fascinating about the Jetsons is that it was the very first show to embrace the future. And what's really wild is that nobody had ever seen a future show that was not pessimistic or overly optimistic, but rather it was just like the everyday lives of people living in the future, as if it was like I Love Lucy or any of the comedies that were on television during that time period. So that's how the Jetsons did gain popularity in network television, if I recall correctly. That is so amazing, Chazzy Cats, that you have a tattoo stick figure man. And Tube says, this is how you draw a stick figure. So, according to Tubes, this is how you draw a stick figure. First, you draw a circle. Then, you draw another line. Then you draw an upside down U, another 2 lines, and an upside down V. So, that's how you draw a stick figure. And an absolutely huge shout out for Tubes for giving us these very lovely art lessons tonight. It's so good to see you, Buzz. Thank you so much for being here. Oh no, that sucks, Lion. That sucks, Rachel, that your work got cancelled. It's always great to see all of you. I always appreciate being here and being able to chat and do live art. Well, I wish I've been going on for quite a few hours. Does anybody else have any live art requests before we call it a night? Or also good night wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amusement Park Pirates. Make sure to like and subscribe, friends. And also, if you're just coming on in, feel free to request some art for Tony's birthday. Thank you so much. I do love doing artwork for my birthday, and this is one of my favorite things to do. Is to do live art for everybody. There's like something so special about getting to sit down, doing my favorite thing, and taking out requests and chatting to everybody. Looks like George Jetson is getting a piggyback ride. Thank you so much. I didn't know her name was Ellie. Was Eloy. I do have a hard time pronouncing names due to my practice of speech. But I do try my best. Has anybody seen this really obscure show called Small Window? It's similar to the Jetsons but live action, and it's about this person who is a humanoid robot. Oh, that's right, Lyle. You need a voice of the robot to help clean your house. and serve you coffee. So not. Here's Rosie the robot serving. Here's Rosie the robot serving Lyle his morning cup of Joe. Oh, same here, Lyle. I remember seeing the theme of the song going, small window. She's a small window. And I also remember the scene where she drops the cake and the cake goes kaplop. Pop goes the cake. Oopsies. So here you go, Lyle. Here's Rosie the robot giving you something very special. Stay tuned. Deluxe. I'm curious, Chaz, I'm curious, Chaz and Lyle, how do you remember to show small windows? Also, I wish before you spike, if you wish to share to find out, you can what you can do is you can post it as a community post on your YouTube channel or as a YouTube short. This way you're able to showcase the artwork, since I don't have a Discord server set up quite yet. Here you go, Lyle. Enjoy your morning cup of coffee. 95. I wake up in the morning. 95. Oh, thank you so much, Mikey. I'll keep an eye out for the post. And Cruz is asking, when is your birthday, Tony? My birthday is actually tomorrow. So I decided to celebrate tonight and this weekend just because I'm working all day tomorrow. Work. And my birthday is January 12th. That's so wild, Lyle. What goes on at 3 in the morning, if you don't mind? So here you go, your 3 a.m. coffee. How big can it get? I love coffee. I love coffee in the morning. I love coffee in the evening. I love coffee. I love coffee in the morning. I drink coffee in the morning. Just like how I eat pancakes. I love coffee. I love coffee in the morning. Here you go, Lyle. I nearly forgot to put Lyle in his coffee. Let's see. Yes, I do love the Hotel Joffrey coffee. So here you go, Lyle. Here's you. Here's what I think you look like in your coffee. And this is what I think you look like as a Jetson character too. It may not be 100% accurate, but this is the closest thing I got. So here's Lyle as a Jetson character in his coffee. This is the Lyle. This is Lyle. This is the Lyle coffee, based off Lyle's profile photo. There you go, Lyle. I love coffee and Disney, and I have a side of pancakes. I love coffee. I love coffee in the morning. I love coffee in the evening. And welcome back to the party, Rachel. Woo! Thank you so much for the birthday wishes here. Carlisle, woo! Heck yeah! Birthday party, whoop! Whoop! Here we go. I love coffee. So let's see, what time is it again? Oof, that's rough, Chaz. I feel you, Lyle. I've been up since 2 in the morning. I work by 3. I'm supposed to eat lunch by 8 a.m. Oof, that's rough. I didn't know that you worked at night, Chaz. And that's awesome. Amber, what kind of coffee are you having? I love coffee. I love coffee in the morning. I love coffee in the evening. I love coffee. Another thing is, when I first started drawing cartoon characters, I used to get really frustrated when I couldn't draw the character accurately on my very first try. So there's times I got so frustrated, especially when I was like a toddler doing my terrible twos, where I'd be drawing a cartoon character, I couldn't get the proportions right, and I got so mad. I was like, whooshy gaga, wah, 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 and I was like literally, and that was actually the sound. When you hear me saying whooshy gaga, hello you who, good to see you woo. And when you actually hear me saying whooshy gaga, that was the sound I actually made verbatim as a baby. So it's like whooshy gaga, whooshy gaga. That's how I sounded when I could not draw a character perfect on the first time. And as a kid, I was a perfectionist. It didn't bode very well in school, especially during math class, when I kept making one mistake after another. So, on a happier note, we're going to draw Mary. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Put it together and you get Shrinto. That's a snowman made out of a puddle. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oops, wrong mashup. You know what's really wild? Is that Frozen and Moana do involve water, but in very different forms, but in very different forms. So Moana actually does involve frozen water, but Frozen does involve boiling point water because do you know in the parts of the ocean, some parts of the ocean, especially in the tropical Bahama regions, that water temperatures exceed 97 degrees, which is past the point of bath water and boiling water. So there you have it, Frozen. So instead of Frozen, we call it snow, and instead of Moana, we call it boiling water. You're welcome. So now here we go. We got ourselves the one and only Maui, and I can imagine she has your day started bright and early in the future not too distant. Maui, not. And you know that if you say the word Maui 3 times, he will fall out of the sky, and he will be able to give you a boatload of mangoes, just like what Timo does if you buy enough products. So on the count of 3, everybody, if you want a bunch of mangoes right now, everybody on the count of 3, say Maui, 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 just like Beetlejuice. Alright, it was so good to see you, Amber. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you around another time. Thank you so much for being here, Amber. I hope your evening, day, morning goes really well. Here you go, Charles. The one and only Maui. You're welcome. And yes, I also do ways that sometimes when I speak, I do have some pretty dark humor. Because one of the very first shows I watched were Trailer Park Boys, and because I live in Colorado, I did watch a fair share of South Park. Another thing is, I used to watch this guy named SD Guy 1234, and he does have a rather festive gambling channel, which I don't really watch these days anymore. But that was actually one of the very first. That was actually one of the very first people who introduced me to the WMS Willy Wonka slot machine. And the reason I found that channel is I was searching for plush time wins Willy Wonka arcade videos back in the early 2015s. Next thing you knew, I was listening to SD Guy 1234, also known as Casino Realness. So that's where I got a whole lot of my stuff from. So here you go, Maui. I forgot that Maui did wear a necklace, and I also read that in the live. And I'm also really curious about the live action Moana. I'd see you around, Amber. It was great seeing you today. Thank you so much for being here. Here is my interpretation of Maui. And I almost forgot that Maui is not complete without his hook. put it together and you get Sorrento. I'm not sure why, but sometimes when I sing the song, I sing the song "You're Welcome," I tend to mix up the lyrics with Olaf's Sorrento song. Aww, he does have some really adorable eyebrows. And also, I'm like really impressed by I'm just really impressed by the amount of details and impressionists. And I'm just mostly amazed by the amount of details and line work that went into the Moana movie. I also find it really interesting that in the Moana movie, that for Mario Tattoos, they actually use two-dimensional animation, which I find really neat. I also do wish that Disney would make another two-dimensional animated movie like Winnie the Pooh. Hopefully there's gonna be a lot more two-dimensional animation coming up in the next few quarters of Disney. And a fun fact about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he had to take special vocal lessons to learn to sing. I didn't realize that. I also don't know how to sing either. So if I was to ever play a Disney villain, not villain, but if I was to ever play a Disney protagonist, villain, antagonist, or hero, I'd have to learn how to sing, because unfortunately, this voice don't sing, except for in the shower or on Tower of Terror. So here you have the Maui. Here you go. Going twice. Here is the Maui bringing us a bunch of mangoes, islands, pina coladas, strawberries, fruit cakes, strawberries stuff. And Robin's like, most people that sing had to have a lot of voice lessons. That's very true. I know some people who invest like hours upon hours in their voices. And I'm also very well aware that people have been practicing since childhood. I didn't mean to say fruit cake. I meant to say pineapple upside down cake. Not fruit cake, pineapple upside down cake. And sometimes I do mistake my baked goods. So here's Maui coming out of the ocean water. Because you know what time it is? It's 5 o'clock. This is what happens when it's like 5 o'clock. So I was about to draw the clock hand the wrong way. That'd be 8 o'clock, not 5 o'clock. Chee-ho! Woo! Chee-ho! Robin says, my daughters had lessons and did honors choirs in high school. She does really good when she tries. Oh, that's so special. What got her into singing and voice lessons? For me, this is the reason why I gave up singing. Was many years ago, I used to get a magazine called the Highlights Kid magazine. And there was like this song in there about armadillo. I'm not sure how it was supposed to go, but it was supposed to have the same tune of Buffalo Gal. I'm not sure what song it was. They like the song called Buffalo Gal. And this was from like many moons ago. So during that song, I was like, it was supposed to sound like armadillo, 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 but I kept singing it as armadillo, armadillo. And basically, after I kind of sing the armadillo song, I completely gave up trying to sing for years. And also, speaking of singing, there was like this time where I wanted to be a street performer in the Pole Street Mall in Bordeaux. So I heard a song about diamonds. Not sure what it was, but I was like watching the TV, and like this person on like a swing in a bedazzled blue dress singing the song Diamonds. And not sure what it was about that song, but it just captured my attention, so I started singing Diamonds, Diamonds. So I started singing it. So long story short, I went up to somebody and said, hey, do you think I could be a street performer? This is the song I sing. So I started singing Diamonds, and that person was like, well, look at my lips and see. Well, look at my lips. Well, look at my lips. And this is how you sound, like, diamonds, diamonds. And after that, that was my last straw of ever singing or ever trying to sing. Oh, that's so special, Robin. I honestly don't know. She always loved music, even as a little girl. She started singing when she could talk. Oh, that's so special, and that's definitely really amazing talent. I'm also just really impressed. The thing that really impresses me is when people are able to sing with such grace and when it comes so naturally. Whatever you do, you don't want to hear me. You don't ever want to hear me like tooting the saxophone, because if you ever put me in a room with a saxophone, my recommendation: run 13 miles the other way. Robin says, musical talent runs in our family. My brother sings and plays guitar. My daughter is self-taught on the piano, plays clarinet and sings. My son sings well and never had lessons. That is so impressive. I'm like always blown away by people who manage to pick up a musical instrument. Unfortunately for me, no habla español, Chinese, or musical instruments. The closest thing I've ever came to play on the piano was like don 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 boo. So that's my piano lessons. Just a bunch of cacophony, and I stopped playing after that. That's why I know that your weather was supersonic went from Rome to Code. That's rather impressive. Chaz says, fun fact, I have a tattoo of a hidden Mickey kind of in plain sight. I didn't know that you had a Mickey Mouse tattoo. And that's so wild how the weather can go from like 80 degrees to 0. Right now, it is 31 degrees and gonna be dropping 17 degrees outside. It was like 71 degrees today outside, allegedly. So if you're ever curious about what my musical talent sounds like, let me draw you a brief diagram. So this is the tower of terror, and this is the drop shaft. So I'll just be kind of shorthand this. So this is the drop shaft. And this is how my musical talent goes. So don't get your hopes up. So right here is like the little windows that you can see out of. So here's the towel. And this is my musical talent. So you get into your elevator, which is right here. This is you in your elevator. And when you first hear me playing music, you kind of get your hopes up to like the second floor. They plummet. Then you go back up to like where the sign is, to the 13th floor. You hear a few notes, bam, it goes back down and back and forth. And then eventually it gets to the point where you get to the 4th floor. A little spike, bam, to the basement. So that's a little brief shorthand depiction of my musical talent. Well, I wish that we've been yammering away for over 2 hours. Had an absolutely great time. Does anybody have the last art request of the night before I have to call it a night and take the bus to work tomorrow? If anybody has any more art requests, forever hold your peace. Say now or forever hold your peace. Alright, so here we go. Chaz says a bunch of screaming sounds. Well, it's been one heck of a night. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you everybody for your patience as we navigated the debacle and had one heck of a time. And thank you everybody for being here for the very first ever horizontal live art stream, which we never thought would happen. And Robin's asking, hey Chaz, have you ever used a hoodie yet? Oh, you're very welcome. So know what? Let's finish up the night by drawing Moana, the Wayfinder. And I want to thank all of you for being here. I can't thank you all enough. I always have a great time whenever we can be in the chat and whenever we can be chatting together. So here you go, Moana. Says that she wishes you the best and finding your ways and having the best nights and the best week possible. And also this one is for you, Keith. I want to also give Keith an extra huge shout out for helping us bring you all these amazing adventures and these amazing times at the parks. So absolutely huge thank you to Keith for bringing the good times too. And here you go, Keith. You're one of your very favorite characters. And you too, and thank you so much, Robin. Thank you for all the blessings. I am Marana. Alright, so Kaz is not yet, but they spelled California wrong. They spelled Carolina. Do you mean South Carolina or North Carolina or California? Or did they spell Mississippi with a C instead? To this day, I can't draw hands, so please don't mistake me as ChatGPT quite yet, or OpenAI. That's the running joke with AI art. East to the west, to the east to the west. Put the MICISSP, Mississippi. That's how you spell Mississippi. So here you go. The Moana Wayfinder. That's my interpretation of Moana. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Well, I don't think everybody for being here, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic night. If you enjoyed what you saw tonight, be sure to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to but Tonio Tower. It's been a long night. Be sure to subscribe to Tonio Tower, especially if you love Tower trivia, Tower enthusiasm, or anything to do with Hollywood studios and Walt Disney Worlds. And chances that he will be wearing the sweater when she sees Seattle. So I can't wait for you and Seattle to meet up. It's gonna be one heck of a time. And I can't wait to see the Disneyland meetup of the century. Oh, thank you so much, Jones. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Well, it's been an absolutely great time. We will see you next Sunday. Hopefully at the same time, we'll be doing even more live art requests, and hopefully this will become a Sunday ritual. So see you around, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Oops, wrong button. Now enjoy my finger.